Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Yasharala. Call Haloyim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Harakah Kodash, for blessing our elders with the spirit of truth, so that we may know. Shout out to the Akim and the Aqua that's keeping the faith in the work. Shall keep at it. It's your brother Abaya coming at you with more precepts. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 37 and verse 12. It says, "The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth." All right? These devils have been plotting for as long as they've been able to plot. It's just as of late, the sword that they've been blessed with has morphed into technology. Right? The moment that technology became advanced, they started using it as a weapon. And I was watching a video earlier today, speaking about Project, I believe it's Looking Glass, where they have a computer that they ask questions about moves to make in order to, set the world forward in a certain agenda. And it's gotten to the point to where now they don't ask the computer any more questions because it keeps giving the same answers over and over and over again. So basically, they've exhausted all of their plots, and now they just on their path to the end. Right? This is a video clip from 1973, man. 1973. A news special, I guess you could say, of a computer that basically predicted how the world would be all the way up until, I believe, the year 2060. But I want you to watch this video and see what this man say the computer says will be happening around the year 2020. Right?
It's not some science fantasy effect from 2001. This electronic display emanating from Australia's largest computer is a picture of the condition, past, present and future of planet Earth. The program was originally devised by a scientist working from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Jay Forrester. It was developed under the auspices of the Club of Rome by an MIT research team to present a complex model of the world and what human...
Club of Rome, right? And Salak, I forgot to, speak this, but I'm using the Fair Use Act in order to, use this video for my video, right?
Doing to it. The program, called World One, doesn't pretend to be a precise forecast. What it does for the first time in man's history on the planet is to look at the world as one system. It shows that Earth cannot sustain present population and industrial growth for much more than a few decades. It shows that simply cleaning up our car exhausts and making some small effort to limit our families simply isn't enough. It's like an electronic guided tour of our global behavior since 1900 and where that behavior will lead us. Well, this is the printed version of what we've just seen on the television screen. What looks at first to be just a maze of computer characteristics is really a system of very simple graphs which project what's going to happen to the planet over the next 150 years if we don't do something drastic to stop it. Down the left-hand side of the graph is the date, 1900, 1940, 1980, 2020, right down to 2060. Now, each of these lines of letters represents a curve showing some aspect of the condition of the planet. The further out this way they go, the greater that figure is, the further this way, the less. For example, P represents population. So here it is at 1900, and then it comes up to 1940, it starts to take off. Here we are at 1980, up to the turn of the century, and then it starts to peter off. Let's now have a look at this next curve, the Q curve, which is the quality of life. And this is represented by, for example, the amount of space people have, the amount of money they have to spend, the amount of food they have to eat. Now, it increases rapidly up to 1940, but from 1940 on, the quality of life diminishes. And here we are about the turn of the century, and we come up to the year 2020, and it's really come right back. More people, of course, means that you start to chew up your supply of natural resources. And this is this curve here, the N curve. And it shows that slowly but steadily, the pool of natural wealth in the world, natural resources, minerals, oil, and so on, is slowly but steadily diminishing. So this is the situation. As population increases, the quality of life decreases, and the supply of natural resources decreases. But have a look at this curve here. This is called the Z curve, and it represents pollution. Now, predictably enough, as the population increases up to 1980, pollution increases. There's more rubbish. But from 1980 to the year 2020, pollution really takes off. This is assuming, of course, that we don't do anything about it. So the year 2020, the condition of the planet starts to become highly critical. And if we don't do anything about it, this is what's going to happen. The quality of life is going to go right back to practically zero. Pollution is going to become so serious, right out here, that it will start to kill people. So the population will diminish. Right back here, less than it was in the year 1900. And at this stage, around about the year 2040, 2050, civilized life as we know it on this planet will cease to exist. Well, hopefully, of course, it won't be allowed to happen. But it's taken this kind of shock treatment to nudge governments into doing something, and slowly we are.
Right. So if you just pay attention to what this man is saying, and also pay attention to the times of today and what's been reported on today recently, within the last 5 years. We're not going to go beyond 10 or 15, but the last 5 years. What happened on the planet? Right? Things, I'm talking about drastic things have been happening on the planet, and all of it is questionable. All of it. Right? The thing that shut everything down is questioned on its origin. Is questioned on how it got released. Right? Then you had this one individual, right? This tech dude who all of a sudden became a medical supervisor, right? That was saying they need to work on population control, right? And all of this was around, like I said, in the last 5 years, right? Ain't that odd? Don't that raise an eyebrow, raise some kind of suspicion in one's mind, right? Let's go to the scripts, man. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 140, and verse 1 says, to the chief musician, a psalm of Dawadah, deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war, right? This violent man, you best believe that violent man is about to come down on people. And it's going to be blatant in a minute because they're running out of time. Right? These are facts. They're running out of time, man, all around the world. Why else do you think everything is turning digital? They moving into a whole new era of living because the technology of old told them around about this time, that's when the planet is about to fall off. And we seeing chaos and all kinds of things happen. Everything that dude was saying about, the natural resources and the growth of population and the growth of pollution, we are seeing it. Do they not have electronic cars now? Did President Sleepy Joe say that people need to invest more so in said cars, right? Because of the price of gas is going so high. Right? Why is the price of gas going so high? Why? I'm just like, you got to put this puzzle, put it together, right? This is something that they've been seeing, and they've been going to their technology to get answers on how to move, but the technology ain't answering no more. They're running out of options, right? This man is about to get violent, right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs. Chapter 16, And verse 29, it says, a violent man enticeth his neighbor and leadeth him into the way that is not good. Like I said, they going digital with everything. And once they go digital with what I have in mind, like Revelation 13, right? Of course, they're going to present it as though this is the answer to all our problems, right? Put this technology with man so we can merge up and, solve all the world's problems. But in actuality, he leading you into a way that is not good, right? Verse 30 says, he shutteth his eyes to devise froward things, moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass, right? Go to the book of Micah. Micah chapter 2 and verse 1, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. They've been plotting on these moves that they making now. We seeing it. This video is from 1973, a news clip from 1973, man. You heard what that man said, we don't do something about it now. So you think they just saw that information and was like, that's interesting. Let's get back to the game. Hell no, they did something about it. And we're seeing the things that they did about it now. But it's out in the open now because of technology, because the Most High made them invent the internet. So now anything that has been video recorded and put on the internet can be seen now. All you have to do is know what to look for, right? Know what to put in, know what to search for, and you'll see it. All right. Let's see. Let me go to the book of 1 Peter. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 7 says, but the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. Right, the Most High blessed us to be able to see these devils for what they really are, see the moves that they making. Right, we 4, 5, 6, 7 steps ahead of them. Right, to be real, spiritually, we ahead of these folk, and it's only because Yahweh Shema Shai is allowing us to be ahead of them. Right, let me go to Sirach, which is Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. Chapter 39 and verse 18 says, at his commandment is done whatsoever pleaseth him. Right, so the Most High allowed these people to do all of this. He allowed them to create this technology to be able to see this world and its demise. Because this ain't, when I say this world, I'm not speaking about the earth. I'm talking about the people that are in control. Basically, what Esau is seeing in this video is the end of his world. Not the end of the world. All this stuff he talking about, pollution, and ain't nobody gonna be able to the end of you. Ain't the end of everybody, just the end of you, end of your reign. Right? And the Most High allow him to see that and put a spirit in him to make him believe that it's something he could do about it to prolong that. And ain't nothing he can do about it because it's all in the hands of Yahweh Shema Shai. Right, so I'm gonna read that again in Sirach 39:18. At his commandment is done whatsoever pleaseth him, and none can hinder when he will save. Can't stop that. Like I said earlier, man, they computed that they would pop questions in as it pertains to what moves to make in order to, do this and that for their kingdom. They can't do that no more because it's coming up with the same answers over and over and over and over again. Now, the video I saw, the questions that they were asking, he wouldn't reveal that, but it was something pertaining to different moves to make or different plots, right, to pursue in order to prolong the kingdom, in order to make so it basically asking what kind of agenda do they need to follow in order to get to a certain point. And now they can't ask that no more because it's telling them the same thing. And the answer basically that they keep getting is, it's a wrap. It ain't nothing you can do. It's over with. It's over. Right? Because it was never in their hands to begin with. It was always in the hands of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Right? So with that understanding, the Most High's people need to get their mind right, which is where your spirit is. You need to get your spirit right. right? You so-called blacks, you so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans, all the so-called Negro descendant, all our brethren around the world, get your mind right, right? Because this place could go at any moment. Right? I know a lot of people ain't speaking about what's going on overseas no more, but it's going on. My understanding is the latest news on that is Russia has blown up a weapons depot in Ukraine, and the weapons that they blowed up were the weapons that were coming from America. Right? So it ain't stopped. It's still going on. Everything's still going on. Right? Even that thing where people had to get, stuck up. Right? They had to get, cut in their arm and receive juice. It's still going on. It ain't stopped. Right? So with that understanding, man, we got to be on our P's and Q's. Let me go to the book of 1 Peter, and I'm going to close with this. So, 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17, it says, "For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of power. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of power? And if the righteous scarcely be saved." Right? Those are the Most High's people that are trying to the best of their ability to operate in the spirit of holiness, the spirit of truth and sincerity, spirit of righteousness, right? All through faith. If the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Right? It says, "Wherefore let them that suffer according to the will of power commit the keeping of their souls to him in well-doing, as unto a faithful creator." Right, so with that, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Ratazah, these precepts in this video were edifying. Kol Holoyim Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Harakah Kodash. Shalom Yashala. I'll let this play out for a little bit.
Starting to clean up our atmosphere. We're starting to recycle our rubbish. We're doing something positive about population control. But so far, our efforts have really been just a drop in the ocean. The Club of Rome comprises some 70 men of widely varying backgrounds, but their common concern is that the world problems cannot be solved by individual nations. I spoke with Professor Hugo Tiemann, director of the Battelle Institute Geneva, Dr. Aurelio Pache, founder of the club, and Dr. Alexander King, director of the World Bank and the United Nations OECD. Dr. King, now you're describing the world as a closed system where all these things are interrelated, and yet the government, the control of the system is by individual nation states. Now, how do you convince them to cooperate?
The sovereignty of these nations is no longer as absolute as it was. There's a great